All right, welcome to a special Sunday edition of Empty the Bench, episode 59. Tom Albano here along with Nick Fodera and Nick Morgasen. I know it's an unusual day for us. I know it's a unusual time slot for us, and everyone's pretty much trying to watch the football. So we'll get you to the football, as soon as possible. We'll try not to waste too much of your time, folks.
Consider us the half-hour infomercial.
Yeah. Basically, life happens, scheduling issues happen, and voila, here's Sunday at 3 o'clock.
We're the flex tape of sports.
We're the flex option. So instead of watching the regular game, if you need something to watch in the meantime, you can watch us.
Got it.
Exactly. So we're going to actually begin with some football news, some big football news that occurred this week. Nick Morgasen, of course, very familiar with this news of the New York Jets announcing, well, first they didn't release him outright. First they announced that they were going to attempt to trade Le'Veon Bell.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And then just hours later, did the Jets not exist in your mind anymore?
Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud? Continue.
Okay. So they tried to trade Le'Veon. And
since last year.
Yeah, well, they've been trying since last year, but then they announced that they were going to try to in advance of the NFL trade deadline, which, the trade deadline isn't for 3 weeks. And yet they only lasted a few hours, and then they just flat out gave up and just released him outright.
You missed the key word. Try.
Basically, the theory behind this is, I guess, Le'Veon, because he hasn't done much on the football field. And in fact, he actually has spent 3 weeks of this season hurt. Basically, there were speculation on New York sports radio here that maybe they were only going to be able to get like a 6th or 7th round pick in exchange for Le'Veon. But I guess they just weren't able to find a trade partner, or I guess Nick Morgasen has the theory that they just didn't even try to find a trade partner.
I don't think they tried at all. I think they just said, all right, F it. We have a disgruntled running back who, when he's sick, decides to go bowling on the night that he's supposed to be recovering. But I think you kind of gutterballed on that one.
Yeah, so obviously, putting aside the ineptitude of the Jets, because I think that's a given at this point. I mean, even when the Giants and the Jets are both 0-5, the Jets will somehow find a way to embarrass themselves even further. Well, it's like an immutable law of physics.
Well, it's the thing here about New York sports. I mean, remember, the day after the Knicks lost the lottery last year in 2019 was the day that they fired Mike McCagnon in the power struggle with Adam Gase. It's a law of New York sports. Every time a New York team tries to find its way into the most embarrassing spotlight, become the new laughing stock.
Are you trying to be logical? Because that's what you're trying to be right now.
I'm saying the Jets always find a way to get the title back.
Again, you're trying to be logical in the number one market.
Where logic is not. There's no, logic to be found.
Exactly.
So they just outright released Le'Veon Bell, and then the very next day, where does he end up? A 1-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs, which, by the way, because it's only a 1-year deal, remember, because the Jets outright released him, they're picking up most of the money.
So he will be their backup running back because
he's the number 2 option.
Yeah, the number two option because, well, I'm blanking on their
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the rookie.
Helaire, yeah. And Hilaire's been very impressive.
I'd say he's been all right. The issue is Edwards-Helaire was supposed to be the number 2 guy, but then Damian Williams opted out due to the whole COVID fiasco.
Yeah, due to the COVID outbreak.
So Bell had narrowed his options down to the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Dolphins. In the Bills and the Dolphins, he would have replaced, for the Bills, Devin Singletary and Zach Moss as the number 1, and for the Dolphins, he would have replaced, Myles Gaskin and the rest of them at the number 1 slot. But
can we get real for a second, though?
Well, no, wait, hang on. But he admitted that the Super Bowl chase is just too much. He wanted to win the championship.
He pulled a LeBron move.
That was going to be my point, that when the Chiefs were on the list, we knew that's probably where he was going to go.
Oh, look, he was going to go.
Look, Patrick Mahomes. Oh, wait, I can go win. And then remember the joke I made about Le'Veon Bell if he goes to the Chiefs? Oh, I'm going to take credit for it all because I'm the best.
You're basically going to, and he's a good pass-catching running back, so he's pretty much going to be, upgrading from a pop gun shot at him to a howitzer shot at him.
Well, he's an RPO guy. That's why he fits well in that offense.
That's why he fits so well, because, again, you get to play with Patrick Mahomes. Where's the downside?
And you're taking the pressure off the rookie running back.
Exactly. So it really is a no-brainer that he was going to sign with the Chiefs, but it leaves the Jets with egg on their face. I mean, more egg on their face.
One more thing. I was also going to admit that it's also the perfect fantasy move because Singletary, Gaskin, they don't exactly lose their value. Edwards-Helaire doesn't exactly lose much value. It's great. Him going to the Chiefs was the perfect move for all parties related to football, except the New York Jets.
Yeah, all parties related to football. We all know that the Jets haven't been related to football in the last 5 years.
There's another reason why they had to release him, because apparently they were on the hook for an $8 million injury guarantee. So that's why they had to drop him. Well, Dak's a whole other situation.
I was going to say, as much as you hated Le'Veon, as much as you're glad he's gone, and yes, we do have to admit, he has been a bit of a headache. He always has been, but especially with the Jets. And I told you this whole Jets team is exactly the problem when you have 2, maybe even 3 different administrations trying to execute plans. Because this fall, remember, it was Mike Maccagnan who signed Le'Veon Bell to that contract. It was Mike Maccagnan who made the picks of the 2019 draft. Mike Maccagnan, they chose to keep as their general manager when they fired Todd Bowles and hired Adam Gase. And then sometime between the draft and, preseason, they had a power struggle with Maccagnan and Gase. And despite Gase not coaching a game, having no, guarantee of success after what he did in Miami, for some reason, they went with Gase. They made him interim GM, and they let him pick Joe Douglas.
Can we go back to the meme that you posted on our social media account?
Which one?
The Jets one, where you have Le'Veon, Adam Gase, and Woody Johnson.
Oh, the goddamn Jets.
Yeah.
I think that's such accurate, perfect for this situation. One, because
that's actually a line from the movie Big Daddy, but yeah.
No, but that's the whole point. But basically, Woody Johnson is an absentee owner. Adam Gase is an absentee mystery or a question mark. Right, and Le'Veon Bell just is Le'Veon Bell.
But that's the point of the whole meme, is that as much you can point it at Bell for being crap, and he was crap with the Jets, but maybe he might break out back again with the Chiefs because Adam Gase has just been so inept as a coach. I think Sam Darnold has regressed, pardon me. And every bad decision, because I just said the general manager thing, it goes right to the Johnsons. I
still don't understand. And you and Tom and I talked about this a lot. How do you make the moves and then fire the GM?
Because that's what idiots do. You don't, but that is part and parcel for the standard NFL idiot move.
That's bait and switch. It's bait and switch.
And again, this goes to the problems of this team, because this Jets team that is struggling right now, it is 2, maybe even it is 2 different administrations trying to execute plans. And I said 3 because maybe a third should Gase be fired, and then whatever the heck is next that the Johnsons do.
Yeah, because you know what it is? You're peeling a banana, throwing away the peel, slipping on the peel, and falling into an open friggin' manhole.
And then eating the peel.
Yeah, and then eating the peel. Oh, look, it's still good. Hop.
No, I think what you meant to say is you peel the banana, take the banana out, but instead you throw the banana out and eat the peel.
Yeah. Technically, that's right.
That's Adam Gase.
Yeah,
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase is the banana peel.
That's not Adam Gase. That's just the organization.
I don't know, and I'm frustrated as a Jet fan. You're both frustrated as a Giants fan. New York football is ceased to exist.
For different reasons, though. For different reasons. The incompetence is a different flavor.
By the way, I just want to make sure.
Terry, this is, I think we're just, sadness.
I just want to clarify one thing so people understand how the COVID protocols work. So he chose to sign with Le'Veon Bell chose to sign with the Chiefs. He has to go through a 5-day protocol before he can sign with the team.
Which is why he isn't active for tomorrow's game against the Bills.
Right. So that's a big thing. But the Jets are a dysfunctional mess. And unfortunately, I think Sam Darnold is going to be on his way out of New York.
I was going to say, well, let's face it, they're going to be in the chase for Trevor Lawrence, and should they get the number 1 pick, should they fall to 0-16, Sam Darnold's probably getting traded.
Who would have thought that both New York teams, and I put this up as a poll question, I have to look for it, but I put up, do you think both teams at this point should tank for Trevor? That's what I put up there.
And basically, it seems like the answer is yes, but more towards the Jets than the Giants.
Look,
but Daniel Jones is no walk in the park.
I have mentioned to you guys on multiple occasions that another quarterback is not going to fix this, because the system that both these franchises use is broken. It's absolutely broken. I wouldn't want Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence cannot succeed if he was being
no quarterback,
morons.
No quarterback or running back, whether your name is Le'Veon Bell, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, or Trevor Lawrence, can succeed in a broken system with a broken offensive line.
Exactly.
You know what I heard also? I heard that the Jets should go after big-time head coach out of college. And the name.
Oh no, not the other Harbaugh.
No, I wasn't even talking about that. It was the Clemson coach?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Dabo Swinney.
Dabo Swinney.
Yeah, they're talking about Dabo, and I don't think Nick Saban would ever come back after the abomination he caused in Miami. But
yeah, I was going to say college.
Got in Alabama, so
look at Chip Kelly. Look at Chip Kelly. Look at Nick Saban. Sometimes college coaches don't exactly answer well in the NFL.
Coaches don't work out. I hate to say it about old Grimma Wormtongue, but it didn't work.
By the way,
it didn't work.
By the way, speaking of Saban, did you guys see that he was positive for COVID?
Yeah,
exactly.
But he managed to get through the 3 negative tests and got back to coaching on the field.
Because he is something else.
Because he can pretty much – he is some kind of dark magician. I swear to God.
I mean –
go ahead.
I was going to say, just to conclude this segment, I mean, what do you think is next for the Jets? Like, well, do you think – obviously it seems like we're all in agreement that despite Case being, supposedly his job is safe, it's just to tank, and at the end of the season, then they'll get rid of him.
Yeah, but I guess the whole theory is that if your team is going to dump, then dump, and it doesn't really make sense. The guy's already being paid for the year anyway.
Right. So here's the question, though. After, let's say, Gase is fired, where do you go? What is the direction you do with the Jets? It seems like you're going, knowing you would trade Darnold, but would you keep Joe Douglas around? Would you try to find a way, if you were the Johnsons, to work with Joe Douglas and start a new vision?
I think you got to give Joe Douglas another chance, because the GM is not always the guilty party. The coach is the guy that has the chemistry with the players, and unfortunately, Adam Gase doesn't have the chemistry with the players.
Right, but now, of course, if you end up, if you give him one more chance and you end up firing him, then you're in a position that the Giants could be in this offseason where you're going to be general managerless, and the coach, in our case, Joe Judge, is going to have the chance to pick a general manager, which gets me a little nervous.
I never understood that in any sport where the manager or the head coach in the NBA gets to choose the GM, or they get to pick the GM.
Because, Nick, you know how we're saying in baseball the managers like Boone are the puppets for Cashman and the general managers? Well, the other way around football and basketball.
I was going to say baseball is a little bit of a different situation because the front office is more used in Major League Baseball than in the NBA or the NFL.
Yeah, and that's fair. But I'm just saying, in the other sports, it's the other way around.
That's fair. I could see that.
All right, so on to more football news. Just briefly, the Falcons and Colts experiencing a couple of COVID scares recently. They had to shut down their facilities in recent days.
Or no games were canceled.
No games ended up canceled. Everybody tested negative. The Falcons, what happened was a practice squad player was ultimately, the patient zero, the one who feared that may have infected the team. But no, fortunately, nobody is affected. That practice squad player now on the COVID reserve list, I believe.
Yeah.
And
You are so
lucky, yeah.
lucky that it did not happen this way, that it was all negatives.
Well, the Pats had a scare too. Could you imagine if the Pats in Denver?
Wait a minute. They put somebody on the COVID reserve list.
Well, Cam Newton and Stephen Gilmore came.
Yeah.
No. Newton and Gilmore are back.
There's one
somebody
more.
else.
I know who it is. It's Sony Michel.
Did they say that it was?
Yeah, they can. Field Yates of
that's
ESPN.
right.
Field
Sony
Yates of
Michel.
ESPN confirmed it. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, but if you were to have forced to have, postponed the Denver and New England game again, you would have been screwed because they would have just lost their buys already.
Well, the controversy, or I shouldn't say the controversy, but the discussion was if they were to lose this game, they would have either had to make a Week 18 or for the first time in ever, they would have had to cancel a game, which would have been a problem.
I think we're not far off from having Week 18 happen. There's going to be.
Well, we have a weird doubleheader coming up on Monday.
The third week in a row we have doubleheader Monday. We didn't have Thursday Night Football.
And don't you think ESPN is a little chapped at the fact that they pay for Monday Night Football?
And they're getting the worst game this week.
What was the game that was moved to Monday?
Kansas City and Buffalo.
Oh.
Because Buffalo had to play the Tuesday against the Titans.
Hey, ESPN should go back to the NFL and saying, hello, we didn't ask for this. Give us money. Do something for us. We paid for the exclusive rights for Monday.
And you know what other scheduling problem is? It's probably not going to affect the NFL. They're probably not going to care about a minor one. If they have a Week 18 and they delay the postseason a week, do you know what day the next Super Bowl 55 falls on?
No.
What?
It moves from Sunday, February 7th to Sunday, February 14th. Valentine's Day.
Are you kidding?
I feel bad. I feel bad for all the women out there.
I feel bad for all the men. That means the NFL is going to get a cut. It's going to lose audience. Let's face it.
I can't wait to see. I could see this in relationships all around the world. All right, do I pick the football game or do I pick my significant other for Valentine's Day? That you need one of those weight-bearing things where you can put chips on each side and see which side is weights up higher. Yeah, Super Bowl. No, I'm kidding. Don't take dating advice. We're all single here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say I told you so. So why do you keep making me say I told you so with this COVID thing?
The evidence is all there in this respect that I don't know. Roger Goodell needs to step up or be fired. One of the two.
We've been saying that for 3 years. Believe me, we're going to be waiting for skeletons.
I have been saying Roger Goodell should resign since he botched the whole domestic violence stuff in 2014.
All right, I'm about to make the most awkward cliche in transition. Houston, we have a problem.
Yes. It's time to talk some basketball, Mr. Morgasen.
I felt that from here.
Sorry. It was at least it made sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So Daryl Morey, I guess now the former GM of the Houston Rockets, stepped down from his job, and everyone is questioning
whether he was pushed out or whether he actually stepped down.
Right. And let's just say there's been a lot of issues. This goes all the way back to last year with the whole NBA and China gate and him making his comments. And basically China escaping the NBA and all its marketing deals.
Well, now during the NBA Finals, didn't the NBA start getting rebroadcasted in China?
Yes, towards the last couple. I think it was Game 6, actually, the last game of the series.
Okay, so here's the thing, and maybe you can explain this to me, Mr. Basketball, because I've really been trying to rack my brain with this, and I'm coming up empty. So I need to ask, how is it that you have a team with James Harden in it, and yet you can't succeed? What the hell is going on?
I was going to say, as much as the China situation may have played a role in this, let's face it, the Houston Rockets are a team that is good, but not great.
They're not complete.
that James Harden and the Houston Rockets are one in that they're great during the regular season, but guess what?
They fall apart during the postseason.
Right. I was going to say, in the what are we seeing in sports? Because now MLB is talking about reducing its season. Regular season don't mean crap.
They have the exact same problem the Yankees do, as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
Well,
but I'd say in different sports, different circumstances, but they're in the same club of good but not great.
Well, let me answer Nick's question. So what was the exact question again? What's wrong with the Houston Rockets?
What's wrong with the Houston Rockets?
What do you think is wrong with the Houston Rockets?
Harden and you can't succeed. What the hell is this?
James Harden is a really good A player, but I wouldn't say he's an A-plus player. Also, I'll give you a comparison to the team that just won the NBA Finals, the Lakers. Look at their team. They have a LeBron, an A-plus, and an Anthony Davis, an A to an A-plus. So you have two guys, and what do I say about the NBA? You need two stars to even have a chance to win win a championship.
You can win an NBA title with a bunch of role players as long as you have two A-plus guys.
Right. So, and unfortunately, Russell Westbrook, who somehow ended up on the Houston Rockets because him and James Harden had a good relationship.
And the Thunder kind of, blew itself up last season.
Right. So Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, is a B-, C+ player at best. And I know people are going to say, what's wrong with you? Well, did you look at his shooting percentages? Do you look that he doesn't play defense? Do you look that he's an asshole in the locker room, that he brings no chemistry to a team that he's on? Well, Russell Westbrook is not a Robin-type player. He's a Batman player trying to be in a Robin's body.
Makes sense. No, it definitely makes sense.
All right. So now there's another piece of NBA news we have to get to. Clippers have a new head coach, and they go from Doc Rivers to Ty Lue.
So the Clippers are basically trying to be retreads at this point, right? Because, if the Celtics, just because the Celtics won a championship with Doc, doesn't necessarily mean that just because the Cavs won a championship with Ty Lue, it's not because of Ty Lue.
Well,
don't you realize that?
Unfortunately, because of the whole pressure situation on the other side of LA, the Clippers are under immense amount of pressure now, having Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and a bunch of other guys. They were expected to win the championship this year, and when the Lakers won, that was pretty much the end of Doc Rivers.
So in other words, they're going to go with the championship head coach, even though it wasn't his, it wasn't him who exactly led the Cavs to the championship.
Precisely. And I'll give you one more piece of information that most people don't know. Ty Lue was actually offered the coaching position for the Lakers last year.
Oh my God, really?
And he turned it down.
I guess LeBron and company are pretty happy about that.
Well, they both won a championship together in Cleveland, even though LeBron just kept yelling over Ty Lue, and Ty Lue just kind of stood there with his you-know-what between his legs.
Right, but you know what? That's the entire point, though. Like, you would think Ty Lue, because he's the championship head coach, that this is an upgrade. But no, this is a major downgrade. And this just goes to our whole thing of when they choked in the second round, and they were like, oh, it wasn't championship or bust for us.
There's another
I think.
There's another misconception here. That was pretty good, by the way. But there's another misconception here that people don't realize, and people put Ty Lue in this category. Oh, he's such a player's coach. He's got chemistry with the players. He was a player in the NBA. Which
LeBron always looked like he wanted to choke him out.
You know what that means? That means he was a puppet.
That's right, Mr. Gruden.
No, not the sock puppets. You got to do the little marionettes,
That's right, LeBron. That's right, LeBron. You're the best, LeBron.
Hey, look, he can dance. Hey, look at him dancing.
But the way I'll leave it is, I'm not 100% sold on Ty Lue being the head coach of the Clippers, and I'll just be interested to see if he gets run out of town after year one.
All right, one last thing here, guys. Let's quickly try to wrap this up. But we're supposed to do a little bit of a World Series preview, but unfortunately we can't do a full one because it just so happened that both series went to Game 7.
So wait a minute. We could be excited for one side being over.
Well, we have an AL champion of the Tampa Bay Rays. We still are awaiting to find out who the NL champion is. Game 7 tonight between the Braves and Dodgers.
Now, let me preface this by saying I completely thought that the Rays were going to crap the bed and lose this series to the Astros because, 2020, nothing good, right?
Right. Well, I was going to say, our old professor, Jamie Stewart, News 12, Long Island anchor, and he had actually said, wouldn't the Yankee fans want to root for the Rays so that way they're not the only team in history to blow a 3-0 lead in the playoffs now? And I had actually commented, I said, you know what? If it was any other team than the Astros, I would say yes. Even if it was the Red Sox, I would even go as far as to say even if it was the Red Sox, I would say yes.
Wow.
Because then at least you can say you weren't the only ones to blow a lead to the Red Sox.
But the difference is it's not there's the Yankees that are salty again. And it's not even salt. It's legitimate grievance.
How about the Dodgers?
Everybody. Again, the Dodgers have more of a legitimate grievance against the Astros than the Yankees do. Because they actually played them in the friggin' World Series.
By the way, can we get to the Dodgers for a second and say how much of a choker Clayton Kershaw is? Didn't pitch in this series.
No, he pitched Game 4 and got racked.
And he is supposedly not going to be available, according to Dave Roberts.
Well, guess what that means?
Well, I was going to say, because starting today for the Dodgers is going to be Tony Gonsolin.
Oh, he was the fill-in for Kershaw.
Right, so it looks like it might be another bullpen game.
No,
and you'll probably see Walker Buehler come out at some point.
That's probably
after pitching an absolute gem yesterday.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's the name of the situation? I forgot what it's called. Where they're going to put someone in for 2 innings.
A spot
opener.
What? No,
an opener.
Opener. That's it. He's
yeah.
pretty much opening because he already had a full start. So.
Well, here's the thing. You're talking about the Dodgers and their choking woes. I have a question because remember how when the Yankees lost the series, we questioned Davy Garcia not being given the game to full start.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake.
Well, guess what? The Braves are not so innocent in this. AJ Minter, Game 5, went 3 innings, only gave up 1 hit, 7 strikeouts, and then they called him.
He was dominant. He was striking out batters like it was nobody's business.
The Braves pull an Atlanta like they do with their friends over the Falcons, and they pull an Indians, and they lose a 3-1 series. That is going to be questioned forever.
But I was watching that game the other night. I couldn't believe it. The guy was throwing 100+, and he was throwing curveballs that were 12-6. And I'm like, why are they taking this guy out? Why?
Sometimes
you're definitely made a mistake there.
Sometimes in baseball, you have to go with the hot hand.
But but the playoffs are what I like to call calculated risks. And basically the manager looks at his spreadsheets or his stats like Aaron Boone does with the puppet of the Yankee front office and says, oh, well, after 3 innings, like with Kershaw, the percentages after 6 innings, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what Snicker probably looked at. But Minter has no playoff stats. So I don't understand why they didn't stay with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't get it. Like I said, if they choke, then there's going to be a lot of questions about that move.
Well, who do you think wins?
Okay, so I was going to ask this question. So, gentlemen, the Rays, whether you think they're going to win against either opponent or not, who do you think they have the best shot at beating?
They have the best shot at the Braves because the Braves are inexperienced. Honestly, I think the X factor in the Dodgers case and the key difference is, again, the addition of Mookie Betts because that catch he made was that saved the game.
Disagree only because the Braves have something that the Dodgers don't, and the Rays have something that the Dodgers don't. Pitching. We have seen in the playoffs time and time again, great pitching will always stop great hitting.
And wait a minute. Just to answer the experience question, I'll let you finish, is what about Marcelo Osuna and Freddie Freeman? That's not experience on the roster?
Oh, that's definitely experience, but I'm talking about World Series experience.
But the Rays don't exactly have World Series experience either. The only one who really has World Series experience on that roster is Charlie Morton.
Yeah, and Charlie Morton. But I mean, it's really a toss-up because the Rays are a great team, as much as it pains me to admit it.
And wait a minute, can we talk about somebody else on the Rays as well, Mr. Rosarena?
Yeah, Randy Rosarena. I don't know where that came from, but that guy's going to be
7 home runs. He's one away from tying the Beltran and Bonds.
I think he won an MVP. He was the ALCS MVP. Didn't he set a record? He was like the first rookie to do something.
Like 4 home runs. Yeah. And he had like 17 for 22. It was ridiculous. This guy is the problem is this could be unfortunately a one-hit wonder postseason for him. You don't know.
So, first of all, who wins Game 7 in your opinion? And then give me 2 World Series predictions. If it's Rays Braves or Rays Dodgers.
If it is Rays Braves, I'm taking. You wanted me to make the prediction as if it's Rays Braves?
Yeah, because I was gonna say since we're a weekly show, give me 2 World Series predictions, and then tell me who you think is actually going to win Game 7 tonight.
If it's Rays Braves, I'm taking the Rays in 6, and if it is Rays Dodgers, I am taking the Dodgers in 7. Who I think is going to win tonight? Yeah. I'm probably going to go with the Dodgers. But again, could be wrong.
I know. All right. So I'm going to take the reverse of you. Like I said, I think they have a better chance with the Dodgers and their choking ways than the Braves. So I am going to say if it is Rays Braves, I think the Braves will get it done in 7. If it is Rays Dodgers, a little bit of a hot take, it won't go to distance. I have the Rays in 6. And who I have winning tonight, I think the fact that the Dodgers are going to go to another bullpen game again and it hasn't really worked in this series, I'm going to go with the Braves.
God, this is so tough. I mean, first of all, I think it's going to be Rays Braves. I just think the Dodgers will choke under the pressure, and I just think the Braves have a little more pitching depth to get through Game 7. So I think Rays Braves. I think that'll be Braves in 7.
And if it's Rays Dodgers,
I'm with you, Tom, but I'm going to go one hot take further and say that the Rays win it in 5.
Ooh, wow.
Ooh.
Just because the Dodgers are complete chokers in the World Series. We've seen it. So, yeah.
All right. So it's going to be very interesting. As much as football is on, there's going to be a lot of attention on the baseball series. So that's going to do it for us. Everybody go back to enjoying your football.
Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Exactly. Tom Albano, Fodera and Nick Morgasen. We'll see you next weekend. Time and place to be determined for episode 60.
Good night, everybody!
Good night.